I somehow feel that I'm snatching away the child from the mother, because the first thing that is important is beauty, and the beauty queen is walking out. We probably don't want her to go, and we want her to permanently give us tips so that we can master the whole thing. But I think she did a phenomenal job, and whatever we are going to start off with, she brings the beauty, external beauty, and what we are going to be focusing is on how to stay beautiful from within and how to project our real beauty in front of the real world. So நான் தமிழ் தான், நல்லா தமிழ் தெரியும், but இருந்தாலும் I want to do this mix of Tamil and English just to make sure that everybody understands it clearly. So first, I don't want to make it into a boring keynote speech or whatever it is. I'm here to help, and if you're going to walk out with one simple strategy that is going to make you successful tomorrow, probably when you're dealing with your spouse or your child or your colleague, and that is success, right? And that is exactly what we want. I heard the panel, they have phenomenal speakers, they had great insights. I'm just going to build on those insights right now. To start off with, how frequently do we have statements or start saying, oh, back when I was in India, or the first time I came to the US, right? We make these statements. How frequently? Very often, almost every day, that your teenage children needs to run away from it. Oh, mom has started off, right? Very frequently. We have these kind of statements is because these stories are great, right? The stories that we have, some are funny, some are frustrating, some make us laugh. I still remember, I keep telling the day when I landed in the US, I came from the hottest place, Chennai, and I landed in the most brutal winter of Michigan. In the peak of the winter, I used to wear 3 jackets and still freeze to death. These are the kind, I still remember my first lesson in the US. Day one, I walked into the public library. I saw everything was clean and nice. I said, wow, this is so good. And there was a young man at the desk, and he welcomed me with a good morning. And after that, when I was checking out books, he was so polite, and I felt, wow, what a country. And then I ended up saying, thank you, sir. And poor man, gave me a look as though I had given him a Padma Shri award, because he was never used to a sir in his lifetime. And that's when the first day I realized that, oh, this country needs no respect, whatever, in any form at all. So these are the small lessons. And then after that, we start adjusting, right? We have gone through that journey all along. And the best part is the level of adjustments. When you look at it, it is so wild, weird, starting from the way we translated Celsius to Fahrenheit, how we learn to drive from the left to the right, correct? And also, it could be, I still remember, you go to the Indian grocery store, buy a $5 calling card, and you press some 20 digits to speak to your mom for 3 minutes, right? So these are the adjustments that we did. And the worst adjustment is the best of all, or the worst of all, is the 14-day process for your green card, 14-year wait, which is the worst part. Is we do not know what is happening. It is difficult than getting into Harvard University. At least Harvard University tells you that whether you're accepted or rejected. And this is a place where we have been in the dark. And all these stories are interesting. And the best part about the stories, it's not because we are funny, we were learning, but each and every one of you have learned, grown, and adapted. And this is what the crux of the story. It shows your resilience. It shows your superpower. And we have done all that. Now, my question here is only one thing. We have this superpower. Are we putting this superpower into use in the best possible manner every day today? From my perspective, I somehow feel we are not putting it into 100% use. We are possibly putting it to some extent, but 100% use not fully, because we are still sticking on to the old rules of service, sustenance, sacrifice, whatever we call it, right? And these old rules were good. It brought us here. It helped us survive. But from my research, what I have seen, these old rules do not fit 100%. It does not help us in bringing our true potential. And that is what I'm going to be talking about. And these 3 rules that we follow meticulously, inadvertently, or subconsciously puts us in a trap, and we do not know how to come out of this trap. And I'm going to only talk to you about three traps. The first one is we over adjust. How many of you agree? Over adjust to a point. Now, I'm not telling being adjustable is bad, it is good. It is probably one quality that has helped all of us survive in this world, right? Which is absolutely important. And this is one quality that has helped us raise strong families, vibrant communities, all of us bring us together. Now, my point is when this adjustment becomes a default behavior, that it costs your well being. That is when it becomes bad. My grandmother, she's no more now. If she was alive, she would be 105. She had 10 children. She was the last one to eat every night. Every single morsel of vegetable that is left around is always given to the child. She would choose to sacrifice her sleep to make that delicious food for a random guest whom she would probably never see in her life. And this is the kind of environment we all grew up in. And this is the environment that taught us this kind of behavior is good. It glorified it. A woman who is endlessly giving away is considered good. A person who considers herself last is considered good. And the person who puts her last and not or adjust to everyone is considered noble. And this is what we have read. And that part, those lessons, is something that we have carried along in our adult life sitting in the United States of America. Now, what happens? These grandmother stories is something that I see today in highly accomplished professional women. Now, you might be wondering what is wrong. One of my clients is a realtor. Any realtors here? No? Okay. But you know the life of a realtor. I mean, a life of any professional for that matter. You go across a hard day, like you can put yourself in those shoes. A hard day, I was watching her while she was driving, helping the daughter get the prom dress, and then managing her business, talking to the clients, taking the grievances of all those buyers and sellers, and coming back from almost an impossible day when there is no food in the kitchen, and she starts cooking, feeding her family. By the time she finishes off, it is past midnight while she has a showing at 8 a.m. the next day. Familiar with this life, right? Now, my point here is what really strikes me and upsets me, it's not the amount of work that we do. It is the feeling that this is considered as normal when people are around you. We can push ourselves, but why should this be normal? Now, what happens when this is considered normal is because we end up going into a visual cycle of pushing ourselves, and we keep pushing ourselves to a point where this adjustment that we are taught is no longer a generous behavior or a generous act. It is becomes one step to self-neglect. We start neglecting ourselves, our health, our happiness, our well-being, that we do not know where to go, and we are praised for whatever we do. How many of you feel you're in this trap? Kind of almost on the verge of this trap. The second trap that I'm going to talk about is we shrink ourselves. You might say, no, I'm a successful businesswoman here. I have been completely having $1 million turnover and I don't shrink myself. Sometimes what happens, especially this happens with women, when we shrink, we do it inadvertently. There was a time when I was appreciating a woman for excellent outfit. The answer that came back appalled me. What do you do when somebody comes and tells you, hey, this outfit is so good? I wish all of us just said, hey, thank you for noticing it. But there are one group of people, both men and women, doesn't matter. Oh no, yeah, this is something I got in Walmart. Oh, this I got in sale. Oh, this is so old. Familiar? This is what I call as shrinking. We rush to reduce ourselves even for that slightest compliment. Come on, somebody says your attire is good. Be happy. Yes, thank you. Thank you for noticing it. Why we end up having that. This is a shrinking behavior, but this is just, it's fine. It's just an outfit. Now, what happens when it comes to the leadership table? What happens when it comes to your promotion, your interviews, your performance reviews, everything that you do? And this shrinking brings us down. One of my clients was an Ivy League educated woman in a pharmaceutical industry, and she got a leadership position from her role. When you look at the paper, she had all the credentials. Was a perfect leader, but when every time there was a board meeting, she was not able to create the impact that she had to and she wanted to. Now, when we started working together, we analyzed and found out it was not her competence, it was she was shrinking all along. And every time we analyzed her communication, we found out that she communicated in such a way that she was grateful for the promotion and not it sounded like she earned the promotion and command the respect in the room of men. And of course, there's nothing wrong in being grateful, but the moment we start using that tone, the people in the room start seeing it. Happens. And I could very well say, oh, thank you so much for giving me this stage. I'm really so grateful for you to give me. The moment that is how people start seeing yourself. We saw, and this doesn't stop there. The shrinking behavior is the first thing people see your shrinking behavior. We don't notice it ourselves. When we realize it when we do not get the respect back. Many times you can think of a time, I thought he was respecting me more. I thought I deserved this. It is not because what they are not capable of giving. It is something what we project in front of them. And most of the cases, it is the shrinking behavior that comes in. And when we bring that shrinking behavior, it starts with people noticing it, not giving you the respect you deserve. And over a period of time, you start losing that identity, start believing that low level identity. And there was a point when this woman who is highly talented started telling me, hey Priya, you know what? Probably I'm not the leadership material. And this is what it does. And if we do not act as though we deserve, we end up shrinking. Now, the third trap is we love to do it all alone. And for this, I don't blame any of us. I blame one man. I admire this man. That man is no more. I think all of you know, we have all been raised by watching movies of K. Balachandran. This man was a feminist himself. I have great respect. When he died, we did a Balachandran marathon for 13 days, and he died in the month of December, so it was very convenient for us to schedule the marathon as well. But I'm a great admirer of this man. But somehow, all his movies always had a woman, okay, who rose up, who endured, who did everything, took care of the family, did it all by herself, and finally succeeded, right? Putting her foot down. This looks great, inspiring on the screen, but imagine doing it in real life. It will suck your life out of you. Leads to burnout, leads to ulcer, leads to cardiac arrest, leads to all of other things. And unfortunately, we glorify this once again, right? So all blame to Kai Balachandran, none of us. Okay, now being inspired when having raised by seeing all this, I did it too. I did the same mistake. When I started my company 25 years back, I said, yeah, I need to be doing everything. So I used to sit day in and day out, designing my logos, or it could be, importing the CRM. Every little detail is something that we did on our own. And over a period of time, I was getting burned out. 10 years in, when the business started growing, we started seeing that, okay, this is not helping me in any way. I was not affording what I was supposed to do, and I was, okay. So with this, what I found out was when I look back today, 25 years back, I could have done something differently. What I lost, in order to save few pennies, I lost the time. So most of us, what we do in the pursuit of saving money, we lose time. But money is something you can always earn back. Time is something that you never get back. So today, my lessons are from what I do. I think twice before I spend money. I think 10 times before I give my time to somebody else. So with all these traps, how can we get out of it? All of us are women here. We are together in this. Is it possible to get out of this trap? We adapt, we shrink, we do it all alone. It is injected in our blood work somehow or the other. How do we get out of it? It is possible with one step. And that is the only solution. And for that, we need to be together. I call it build a tribe. You need that tribe. It is impossible to unlearn isolation in isolation. You know that, logically speaking. You need to get out of isolation to unlearn isolation. Similarly, for us to overcome these traps, which was accidentally injected into us, which is no longer being helpful, we need to learn it together. First, you can get out of adjustment when you establish boundaries. Very simple. When you establish boundaries, what happens is you are clearly giving yourself the permission to stop, to have some time for yourself, to sit down and watch the movie that you wanted to. That is possible when we tag along with someone. It could be a spouse, it could be a friend, it could be a neighbor. Do you have one person in your life who can call you and say, hey, I think you're doing this too much. Can you stop for a moment? One person with you, then you are in the right position. If you do not have that person at all, who can not suggest but force you to do something, right? When you have a sprain in the neck, I want you to go to the refrigerator and put the ice right now. Sit down. That kind of support system. How we get out of that trap. Trap 2, when we shrink, how do we get out of that trap? Again, by owning your space. When you own your space, it is just not you owning your space. You're allowing the light to shine on the woman who's next to you as well. When you allow light on you, the light comes on the next woman. And that is how you build that tribe where I want each and every woman in the room to be the wing woman of, whenever guys go to a bar, they take a wingman, right? Who's your wing woman? Every time you go, always have a wing woman. You need to have not one, at least 10 wing women who is there to vouch for you, applaud for you, hype you up. Every time you go to a networking event, hey, have you met Sarah, or have you met Chitra, or have you met this person, right? When we need that circle. The moment we hype, what happens is we deserve that space, we give that space, we build each other up. And that will be your tribe. Doing it alone is, of course, through your tribe. People build that tribe who can be as passionate as you. It could be anyone. It could be your sister, it could be your friend, it could be a colleague, it could be a spouse, it could be anyone. But if you build that tribe one after the other, then you stop doing it all by yourself. You start delegating. You start taking care of yourself. I need my chai now. Can you please do that? And you get your time. You get your well-being. Self-love is important. And that self-love can be a sustainable option only when we are together. And that is when together we rise. If you have any questions on any issues that you have, I do consult with corporates, I do consult with CEOs, we give a lot of strategies. If you feel that you have an issue, I'm always there. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take it now. I also have an Instagram page, or LinkedIn, TikTok, and Facebook, wherever. Follow me on Instagram. Every day you have a clean strategy to help you succeed in your career that is given. And you can follow Priya Karthik, PRIYAKARTIK. You can follow and get the best out of it. We are doing this 100% free of cost via social media so that we can uplift women in the US and also around the world.